performing for a TV recording as part of the technology gala, which was very embarrassing to me because I flew into Winnipeg and I got into the hotel room trying to connect to the room Wi-Fi, and I could not do it. Next morning, I just sent a quick message to one of the other comics, also on the technology gala. I also knew was going to be there. And I was like, it's so weird that there's no room Wi-Fi. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I go, I tried signing in and you can't do it. Like the password, there's nowhere to put in the password. It doesn't work. And he goes, did you scroll down? Sure enough, you scroll down and there's a part where you just put in the password. Literally, just so this guy, I'm about to go on TV to talk about technology, and this other comic is just like, hey, scroll down, you 90-year-old grandpa.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, that's an old man move.
Yes. How does this Wi-Fi work? So that's how this story starts.
No.
So it can,
oh no.
So another part is part of our welcome package, because there's no parties because of COVID and stuff like that. They gave us just a couple cans of beer to be like, enjoy these in your room when you're done recording. I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, there's no fridge here in the room. That's too bad. I go downstairs. I'm talking to some other comics as we're doing like wardrobe and makeup and all the rest. And I go, I have no way to get the beer cold then. I guess I'm just going to be drinking warm beer. And they go, well, why don't you just put it in your fridge? And I'm like, I don't have a fridge in my room. And they're like, there's a fridge in your room, Craig. There's definitely a fridge. And I was like, I don't think there is. I looked for one and there's no fridge in my room. I was like, are you sure there's a fridge? Like, does it look like a regular fridge? And they go, well, it's not like a full-size fridge, Craig. Because I'm getting a lot of flack for not being able to sign into the Wi-Fi. This has made its way around. They're like, it's not a full fridge. Do you not know what a fridge looks like? I was like, I've stayed in a hotel before. I know what a mini fridge looks like. I'm telling you, there's not one. And they're like, there is. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm in the same hotel. I go back up and I'm opening all these cupboards under the TV and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I guess this is the fridge that they're talking about, but it doesn't look like a fridge to me. So I try and open it and it won't open. It like opens like an inch and then it's locked shut. And I was like, well, maybe it's just like caught on the like the cabinet that it's in or something like that. The door snagging or whatever. So I just like pull and pull and pull. All of a sudden there's this huge snap sound and the door swings open. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it was just caught on something. And I take my beer and I put it in there and I shut the door, and there is immediately an electric motor that whirs and locks it again.
Oh, did you put it in a safe?
You're not the first person to think this. No, so but it's got a glass front on it and all the rest. I was just like, this is one weird ass looking thing. So I take a picture of it and I go downstairs and I was like, well, at least it'll be cold or whatever. And I show the other comics and they're like, oh, that's not a fridge. So what I had done is I had broken into the mini bar, which was entirely empty because of COVID. And so I'm the first person in history to break into a minibar to stock it up with beer. Everyone's like, no, that's not the fridge. Your room just doesn't have a fridge. And I was like, thank you.
At least you got that.
At least I got that out of it. And then I get back to my room after the recording, and I'm like, checking in for my flight early the next morning. I was like, I'll have one beer, and I break into the mini fridge again, and I take the beers out. They're not even cold.
Because why would it be on if there's...
Why would it be on? And I drank a warm beer alone in my room, and then gave the other two away to comics who were staying because I couldn't take them on my flight. So that is Craig Fay versus technology, version whatever. Fridge versus minibar, but they did not charge me for opening the minibar, so we're all good. My villain is my mental state right now is a villain. Just telling me what just as an example of where my brain is at and my ability to complete tasks. So Earlier this week, I was doing laundry, and I'm on the 10th floor of an apartment building, and the laundry is, as it usually is, in the basement. And so I was at the point in which I was taking it out of the dryer and just needed to bring it back up. And for some reason, as often happens in buildings, the elevators just stopped working. I was waiting forever, like none were coming. I was like, something's fucked. I could hear the beeping in the elevator shaft. I was like, this is going to be a while. So I just ran down the 10 flights of stairs, and I was like, that wasn't so bad. And I grabbed all my stuff and I put it in the laundry basket. And I was like, fuck it. I'm young. I'm just going to run back up the stairs. No. I was like, apparently I've been sitting on my ass for a very, very long time and in horrible shape. In addition to that, I was, of course, wearing my mask. And I for the first time, understood what they meant when masks make it hard to breathe, because I was hyperventilating like a motherfucker. But I was climbing stairs. Like, it was intense cardiovascular, and it was just like sucking into my face. And here is the point at which the villain comes in. So I was fucking exhausted. I'm climbing these stairs, and I get to the 8th floor, because, you're counting in your head. You're like 7, 8. And I get to the 8th, and there is such a clear voice in the back of my head that just goes, that's okay. This is good enough. Nobody's gonna fault you for doing 80%. 80% is great. Just stop now. This is good enough. And it was so real, and I had to fight it so hard. I literally said back to myself, like in plain English, like, you can't stop now. You live on the 10th floor. This isn't like stop at 8 out of 10 push-ups and that's good enough. It's like,
it's not a video game.
Right. You need to get back to the 10th floor, because that's where you live. That's where your stuff is. And so just the fight I had to do to get that. And then I got to the 9th floor, and it did it again. And my brain was like, this is it. I was like, no, we need to get to 10. There's no negotiation here. I can't stop at anything but the thing.
I've had that feeling carrying groceries home. Have you ever done that, where you're like, well, I almost made it, and it's like, but you need to, though.
This isn't a graded system. This isn't like you got a 75% and that's a pass. This is a complete or not complete. You either got home or you didn't get home.
Yeah, man.
So that's just where my head's at these last couple of weeks.